So if we only had 5 minutes together, what would I want you to know from our previous podcast out with Lindsay Oliver right now? Well, I've got 3 things that I want to key you into on this very quick hits, quick tips episode of Learn from People Who Lived It. Hi there, my name is Mathew Blades. And, Lucy Oliver, if there's one word that summarizes her, it's relatable. She's just been through so many different things. I mean, she just had so many gut issues and anorexia and anxiety and depression and like literally 5 or 6 other things. And we're going to talk about those on the podcast, or you can go back and listen to it and hear the rest of them rather. But one of the first pieces of relatability for her is this right here. She talks about when she was a teenager and she would go to the doctor for all of these things and what they would say. And this is so important because this happens for so many people, maybe you.
It was just, looking back, kind of mind-blowing, and I would say a lot more harmful than helpful. But when you're 17, 18, 19, the doctor in the white lab coat's talking to you, and so you think, well, that's how it is. That's clearly my destiny. And I was just kind of told all of these things were going to exist forever. I was fundamentally, flawed. There was no way to fix this. And that was it. And I should, go for therapy because I'll have psychological damage because of it. And all of these, even crazier things. And
So what did she come to learn over the years? And what did she choose for herself? Well, this is the reason she owns and runs Precision Health. It's an unbelievable retreat that I encourage everybody to check out. And she discusses in this next clip one of the most important pieces to, getting the body back to where it feels good again. And almost literally being good in your skin. Listen.
Processing emotion is such a huge part of the puzzle that gets very overlooked. So we separate physical medicine from the more mental, psychological component. And there's a real limit to therapy. Generally, the most prescribed thing for anyone dealing with anxiety or any kind of mental health condition is to go down the therapy counseling route. Not to say there's no benefit in it, but it can be quite challenging to really process emotions at a more kind of subconscious level because you're just talking with your rational mind. So it can be hard to tap into what's actually going on. Whereas most things that have happened to us are stored in the body, in the fascia. So being able to release that and process it is really important. Also understanding just the energy generation component. So it's really hard to function well in the world if your little energy generating plants in your cells, the mitochondria, aren't working properly. It's going to make everything harder and your vitality is going to go way down. And it's hard to recover if you don't have the energy to recover.
She even plugs us into her very complex, hard to understand. No, I'm just kidding. She plugs us into a very simple process she uses to help her self-regulate. Listen to this.
I usually do about 3 breaths, so I keep it pretty short because then you've got no excuse. You can fit that in anytime.
Help us understand what you do.
So for me, say before I'm going to eat a meal, or before coming onto a podcast or giving a presentation where it's very easy to get into that sort of accelerated mode, whether it's because of excitement or stress or whatever's going on, is just take an inhale for around 2 counts, and you don't need to force it. So just a nice inhale. And then if you did around 2 counts, you're going to exhale for around 4. And I personally prefer exhaling through the mouth.
Me too. If nobody's ever taught you that before, that whole in through the nose, out through the mouth can be a very simple way to kind of calm yourself down. Okay, Lucy Oliver. The entire podcast with her is out already. Thank you so much for being a part of our podcast here on Learn from People Who Lived It. Don't forget to like, to comment, to share it with a friend. We'll see you next week.